first time, platform is where we discuss the state of affairs of the nation and things that has been happening all around. And in case you're just joining us for the first time, platform is where we discuss the state of affairs of the nation and things that has been happening all around. Ground people that will come and talk about the state of the nation. So thank you so much. You're welcome to another exciting episode of the platform. My name is Maria Muni and I'm sending love and light to your way wherever you are around the world. And the platform, it's all about sensitization, sometimes enlightenment. We need to educate the public about what is happening, what they have perceived, and what they are supposed to know about what is being perceived out there. And you know, last week I was guestless. That was very funny. So I was guestless, and it was so funny like that. Okay, so after a while, I came across some things online, and people were telling me that I should get a legal practitioner to come and explain to us extensively about all this fund misappropriation and the judiciary system and the things, the laws that are involved and how they are waiving the laws and how it is being done properly and how it is not being done properly. So I'm just going to go for this quick commercial break, then I'll be right back with my guest. My guest is really there and you'll be shocked. Thank you so very much. I'll be right back. And in case you're just joining us for the first time, platform is where we discuss the state of affairs of the nation and things that has been happening all around. You're welcome back. It's on the platform on Immaculate Television, and here I'm with my guest. His name is Tolulope Vincent Oloni Moyo, and you know, it's such an honor to have you here in the house this morning. And he is a legal practitioner and a national development enthusiast, and it's lovely for you to join us this morning.
Same here, I'm excited too.
Okay, thank you so very much. So straight to the question. Okay, so we have the EFCC. We know that they deals with economic and financial crimes commission and everything that has to do with economic and financial crimes. Before the advent of EFCC, are there laws that actually questions public office holders about funds misappropriation or anything that has to do with public money?
Let me start by saying that the problem we have in Nigeria as to fund misappropriation has not really been the laws, actually.
Okay.
So even before EFCC, we had laws. The chief of them is the Constitution.
Constitution.
Yes.
Okay.
The fifth schedule of the Constitution already talks about, spells out what a public officer should and should not do.
Okay.
A sort of code of conduct.
Okay.
You know, aside that, we also have Money Laundering Act.
Okay, we have the Money Laundering Act. Okay.
Money Laundering Act. We have We have, okay, now this one is from the EFCC. We also have the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit Act.
Okay.
Then the one we refer to as sister to EFCC, that's the ICPC Act.
Okay.
Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act of the ICPC. So we have a whole lot of them. So the issue with Nigeria is not about laws.
Okay.
Which I hope we'll still discuss in this program. It's more about implementation.
Is it the implementation or the enforcement?
Well, the same. Enforcement, implementation, the stick goes together, the same. So that's the major problem with Nigeria. We have the laws. Don't do this, don't do that. In fact, there are so many that we don't even know them. But the truth is, we are lagging behind when it comes to enforcing these laws. Yeah.
Okay. Some people believe that agencies are not even supposed to be created for this. That even under the laws and everything that has been put in place there, they are supposed the police are actually even more in charge than the EFCC. Is that true?
Well, if you say the police, it would be too enormous for them, and I believe that was why Obasanjo, during his time, had to create the EFCC. Because if you say police, you have a lot of criminal offences.
So that you're handling.
Exactly, and when you talk of misappropriation of public funds, it's also wide too. So it will be too enormous. So I believe that's why we have other agencies
that handles
who specialize on particular aspects of the crime.
Okay, thank you so very much. So my next question is that if you have been alleged for a crime, probably you are a public office holder and you are brought in for accountability, which is supposed to be okay. So I'm saying that are there laws that have been put in place for accountability of every public office holder, in the sense that if I'm a public office holder and maybe 100,000 is being budgeted for my ministry, I should be accountable for that, for each penny that has been spent in my ministry concerning that 100,000. Are there laws for accountability in Nigeria apart from fund misappropriation?
Yes, there are. I started with the Constitution.
Okay.
I started with the Constitution. That's the ground norm of the country. So it's the foundation on which all other laws are standing. Then we also have the Code of Conduct Bureau.
Okay.
Yes, we have the Code of Conduct Bureau. They came to fore in the case of Onoye, the former CJ of Nigeria. So we also have the Code of Conduct Tribunal. That's like their own court.
Okay.
So where they call public officers and question them. Then we also have the National Assembly.
Okay, so the National Assembly has the right to actually call anybody forth for any form of questioning or any other thing like that.
They do. Section 88 of the Constitution empowers them to call. Last week, one of the videos that
have been trending,
that has been trending is the video of Professor Ponde. It was before the National Assembly. So the whole drama that happened just before the National Assembly. They were questioning it. So, okay.
Okay, it seems that this accountability that we're talking about is just that, I want to re-emphasize on that, basically because we've noticed so far so good that it is only until a fund is being misappropriately spent, that is when they are being called for. Why is it not that for every public office holder? And now I'm not talking about the appointed ones, I'm talking about the voted ones, even including the National Assembly members.
All right.
Are there laws that put them in check so that, because take for instance now, all men are naturally selfish, and we have the issue of nepotism and what have you around people generally. Okay, so me as a person, let's assume that I'm now the local government chairman of my local government area. Am I not supposed to be accountable for every internally generated revenue and everything? I'm supposed to answer for public office holders.
Yes.
Okay. And now my next question is there any law that holds all public officers accountable? Okay, I think I've mentioned that. In Nigeria of late, we noticed something that most public office holder, they start from Metu and the likes, and they will just come maybe after they are being called for to come for accountability to come and answer some questions that has been sending the public in array. They will just come out with stretchers, with with
bandage and all.
yes, bandage,
Fainting,
fainting, and every other thing like that. And before we could say Jack Robinson, before we could close our eyes and open it, we'll just discover that okay, they're no more being probed. Because they will no longer be probed just because of their health issues like that. And afterwards, they will just have a slap on the wrist, and that is all. Like, okay, go and pay a fine of 50,000 naira, and after stealing like maybe 50 million naira, you understand what I'm trying to say? That is what has been consistently constant in the Nigerian public office holder accountability and misappropriation of funds. Why is it like that? Is there any laws that allow them to actually put in that kind of drama and escape every aspect of law that's supposed to be dealt with them?
Miriam, the Constitution, well, let me start by saying it's not exactly as you've painted it.
Okay.
It's not exactly as you've painted it.
Now I'm coming from a layman quarters.
Okay, so it's not exactly as you've painted it.
Okay.
Now, the Constitution provides for what we call fair hearing.
Okay.
Compel him to come to court. So what happens is we give you time to treat yourself. In that case, justice may be delayed. It will never be denied. It has happened time and again. The recent one, Professor Ponde, I heard he's been discharged from the hospital.
But even the House of Rep Speaker, that is Honorable Badabia Mila, said that he would no longer be probed, and it was put in the dailies. Everybody read it. That why?
Well, if it would no longer be probed,
yes, that was what
though
he said.
I've not seen that piece of news.
I saw it.
Okay. If it would no longer be probed, it would not be on the basis of his health.
Okay.
In fact, there are cases where the judge would ask for doctor's reports. In the case of minor, the judge asked for doctor's reports. So even though there were times he was coming with a walking stick, there were times he came in wheelchair. No, the law would not be deceived by that. So you can only delay it. It can never be denied.
Well, there are so many questions that is popping through my mind right now, because I wanted to ask about Olisa Metu, but I'm just going to go for this quick commercial break. Then I'll be right back with the questions. Thank you. And in case you're just joining us for the first time, platform is where we discuss the state of affairs of the nation and things that has been happening on the ground. And your memes that have been put forth, and Nigerians will play too much, but notwithstanding, I say people try to bring humor out of this so that we won't overthink what is actually on ground. And this time around, we are here in Immaculate Television to sensitize the public and let the public know the reason for this. And so far so good. I have been discussing with Tolulope Vincent Olonimoyo, a legal practitioner that explained to us extensively about the Money Laundering Act, then the Financial Intelligence Act. He also said something about the Code of Conduct Bureau, that they are in charge for accountability for every public office holder. And so also we've discussed about the health issues that seems to be like a play out for all our politicians and the so-called public office holder that decided not to be accountable for what they are. He said something about infringement on right to life. that is one of the things that is being played out here. That whatsoever it is, if you have any underlying health issues, there is no way that you can be probed further until you are free of any health issues. Because if they insist on you answering for the questions, even in the court of law, that means they are infringing on your right to life. Now, my question before we went for that break was about Olisa Metu. We know about Metu issue. You know about it, of course. But okay, now some quarters, and I'm talking from the public angle right now. I'm not talking from your angle. It's quite different because you are a legal practitioner, but a layman like me that doesn't have so much intelligence or so much knowing about laws can actually tell you that okay, Olisa Metu came with the health issues play, and before we could say anything, he just got a slap on the wrist and is now moving on. I want to explain something to you before you answer that question. Okay. Is that we notice that Olisa Metu will go for this party, maybe a political gathering. He won't be using any form of maybe wrist bandage or whatever it is. He won't be carried on a stretcher or a wheelchair. But whenever he is going to court, he will appear with. And before we could say anything, we are not hearing anything about Olisa Metu again. Metu is not in jail. We were talking about Oji Uzokali that actually was sentenced to imprisonment, and some people are calling. Even our lawyers are calling that he has some underlying health issues that they are supposed to actually cancel the court ruling because of the health issues, and his seat must not be vacant. We're talking about the laws. You have to explain to us like you're explaining to a baby, like a primary school child, about this infringement on right to life.
Let me clarify the notion that I'm not in support of anybody. I'm not speaking for anybody. I'm just speaking as a Nigerian. Okay, and maybe as a legal practitioner.
Yes.
Now, we've seen it play out time and again. They say they bring the issues of their health, and then they ask for some time. Mm-hmm. But if you look at the issue, if we are to proceed from here, you will discover that whatever, let's assume they are right.
Okay.
Or let's say, okay, let's look at it from both sides. They may be right, they may not be right, they may be, the public is seeing them as actors, okay, who are playing on our intelligence.
Exactly.
All right, okay. It may be true, it may not be true. But the truth is, it does not affect justice.
Okay.
You see, what really affects justice is that we, the people, are not even interested about what happens. The average man on the streets does not care what happens. So it's everybody is only concerned about himself. Nobody cares about Nigeria. Nobody.
The interest of the public actually matters when it comes to. Okay, no, I'm going to ask this question. Okay, the reason why most of them actually sometimes get a slap on the wrist, is it because the public is not that interested in the case, or because there are some lapses in the judiciary system that is actually allowing this public office holder to just go in? And you see, what I'm actually hammering on this question is just that you see an average Nigerian that walks on the street that if you understand that kind of thing, like, okay, anytime I get there, I'm just going to go and take my own money to that. Everybody should be stealing like that. If there is no accountability, that means anybody can actually just stand up one day and decide to go and steal money from the public office. I'm talking about taxpayers' money here. We're not talking about an individual money. We're talking about taxpayer money, internet generated revenue, and NDDC that we're talking about. We are talking about people. It's like the money bag of Nigeria. We're talking about the states that is actually providing money for the whole of Nigeria. We're talking about 90% of our allocation is coming from NDD. That's the Niger Delta State.
NDC, all right.
So why are we having these issues? Why is it that anybody can actually go into that office and start sweeping in money?
Okay, let me answer your question in phases.
Okay.
Number one, I must admit that the system is faulty.
Okay.
The system in which we are running is very faulty. I do hope Nigeria will become like Singapore someday. That went from nothing to something. I really do hope. The system is such that even from the SUG level, they are trained to go to office because of what they can get. NYC, I see people run for posts. Now, this is just my own personal view. I see people run for posts, and sometimes they just want to add it to their CV. Not because they want to serve. So it's the system. It's more like Nigeria cannot be better than it is. Go there and have your share of the national cake. So that mentality needs to be treated. That's probably one of the first things. So when you settle the issue of mentality, then you go into our laws. Like I said, we are not enforcing this. We are not enforcing laws as we should.
But we have the laws on ground.
We have the laws on ground. We have laws. We have a lot of laws. Every now and then, you see the Senate pass laws. You see bills become acts. And no one thinks of, no one really focuses on the question of whether these laws are being enforced. Then I would say yes. Then the judiciary, very important. I was very pained when I heard of the Supreme Court pronouncement on Odius Okalu, a case that had been going on for about 12 years, and you say it should be restarted from the scratch because of a technical issue. What happened? At the Court of Appeal, not even at the Court of Appeal, at the High Court, the judge that was hearing his case, the judge that presided over his case was promoted. Was promoted just before he wrote his judgment. The judge was promoted. Now, the ACJA, Administration of Criminal Justice Act, says he can get a fiat to complete the case he had been presiding over. But the Constitution, which is the mother of all laws in Nigeria, says it's not possible. According to section 250, 253.
Okay. But the judge says a fiat. Okay.
Yes. So the question was now, can a smaller law supersede the Constitution? Just that technical issue.
Can a smaller law?
So it was so obvious. So when it got to Supreme Court said no. The Supreme Court is the chief of all laws in Nigeria. It has to be followed. No smaller law can amend the Constitution. So that's technical. And why am I saying that? We need to amend some provisions of our laws.
Okay.
If not for that provision, I don't see why Odius Okalu's case would end the way it ended, or would be the way it is at the moment.
Yes.
So some of our laws needs to be amended. And I give another example. If a judge is hearing a matter, and for one reason the judge has to unsolve the matter, once you started trial, and after trial the judge unsolved the matter, you have to restart the case all over again. That means when a new judge comes in, he has to start all over again to give evidence from the beginning. That is very frustrating.
And postponed and postponed and postponed.
There will be a lot of adjournments. You've already spent a lot of money. So why should all these provisions be?
But it's like even lawyers like it because that's more billable hours for them.
No, even lawyers would not like it. I can't speak for all lawyers, but
Okay,
personally, I wouldn't like it because the stress of
presenting your case over and over
yes,
again.
doing all, and for you to hear that you have to start all over again. Then how do you call the witnesses? How do they repeat what they said? Then that means you've even given the other party the chance to change his story, to change his case, to tamper with evidence. So all these things need to be sorted out.
Okay.
Then I would say that our judges are overwhelmed with cases. We have cases pending over 12 years, 13 years, 20 years in court. We just have one Supreme Court in the whole of Nigeria. The United States, every state in the United States has a state Supreme Court. But here just have one. You know what that means? Everybody has to. If you are appealing, you appeal to the Court of Appeal, from Court of Appeal to Supreme Court. Yes. So imagine all of us appealing. They are human beings. They are not robots. They have families. They have to rest. And they have to write judgments. So how do they hear all of us? Sometimes to get a date will take over 4 years. Just a date. Yes. I'm telling you what.
Just to get a date.
A date.
For the court hearing.
A date will take over 4 years.
Wow.
So they are very overwhelmed.
Okay.
So overwhelmed with cases. Go to the High Court there. You see, sometimes you see on court list, you see 20-something cases. And the judge is a human being. He has to sit down, has to think, has to ensure he's not making a mistake. He has to listen, he has to write. As the lawyer is speaking, he's writing. You have over 20-something cases. How does he hear all these cases? And he has health. He's not battery. He's a human being. Blood is flowing through him. And he's advancing in age. So the judiciary needs to create more courts. More courts. Because now I'm raising the issues that I'm seeing.
Okay.
If you say your health has issue, we give you time to rest, treat yourself. When you are done, you come back and answer you for your charges.
That's true. That's true.
So saying you have health issue is not to me. I don't see it as an issue. The danger is, are we ready to try them? Do we have the courts? Then are the people even asking questions?
That's the interest of the public.
No one is asking questions. If not because coronavirus is reaching us. A lot of us would not care about coronavirus. Now everybody knows COVID-19.
Yes, exactly.
But if not because it is eating, so until problem is knocking at us, nobody cares. So what is killing the country is not just even all the everything, PHCN. You see people who have not had light for over a week,
and they won't say anything.
Nothing. They are just okay. They are used to it. We become docile to suffering.
Well, it's not funny being docile to suffering. Thank you so very much, Mr. Tolulope Vincent Olonimoyo, and he's a legal practitioner, and he has enlightened me a lot. And something that caught my attention that he said was about interest of the public, because people are not asking questions. So you are given even the constitution a rest, and the judges are already overwhelmed, and they are already overwhelmed with cases, and if the public is not answering questions, they move to another thing that they think that is actually in the public domain that people really need to answer to. And I'm putting it straight to you as a public, as a patriotic citizen of Nigeria right now, that it is good for you to ask questions and make sure that you